So did you run into, what kind of challenges did you run into along the way, either through the writing side of it or broadcasting side?
Well, I say, look, it's a dream gig, right? Like I will say that, like the job, when I talk to guys who were part of that era, we had the best job in the world, like we were, I literally saw any sporting event you could name, again, all over the world, somebody else paying the freight, incredible experiences. There was a great kind of a collegial, thing among the sports writers. We were all kind of in the same boat. We traveled together. We hung out together. We went out after, games. We had dinner together. We were working on hard deadlines, which, back in the day when it was about when the printing presses rolled, you had to get your story in on time. And, the technology was not what it is now. Like I wasn't working on a typewriter, but I was working on, very early versions of laptop computers. And, the Globe had notoriously early deadlines. So you had to be a real deadline guy. You had to be able to hammer out a column in 15 or 20 minutes sometimes. And, not knowing what the outcome of a game was going to be, that's, there's an art to that. And it was high stress. And, and then for a long part of my career, I was doing, at least working 2 jobs and doing some other stuff on the side. So, I was busy. I had a young family. My wife carried the freight a lot on the home front while I was traveling, going away to a World Cup for a month or an Olympics for, 3.5, 4 weeks. There wasn't just, a night here and a night there. But from my own point of view, man, I wish guys could live that life now. I try not to talk about it with young guys coming into the business because it's not like that anymore. And it's never going to be, but we had a sweet gig.